Hello guys, today I'm telling you the 20 foods that you should start your emergency stockpile with. 20. I didn't realize I had 20. I am Tara, the author of the Dining on a Dime cookbook with over 1,200 recipes and tips to save you money with our new hardcover and color pictures available now. Almost 600 pages, livingonadime.com. Hi guys, I am sitting here in front of the shipping department warehouse, aka my garage, at the headquarters of Living on a Dime today, telling you the top 20 things you should stockpile for an emergency. Guys, this is just common sense stuff. I'm not saying these zombie apocalypse is going to happen, but I have lived through tornadoes, I have lived through floods, I have lived through mudslides, I have lived through, what else? Blizzards. I have lived through frozen water pipes being stuck in my house in a blizzard. So I've had all these things happen. So I am prepared just for life and just for the weather and just for things happening. So that's why we recommend you do this. All right, let's get going. These are the top 20 things that if I was starting a stockpile, I would buy these top 20 things to get started. Dry milk. Dry milk can be used for baking and drinking. It's one of the first things I would get. To go along with that, I would get something like Nesquik, just a little bit, just to have a treat now and then of chocolate milk. That would just be great, just to have something different. You don't have to. The Nesquik is optional, but it would help kind of break down the taste of dry milk because it's not always the tastiest. But put it in the refrigerator and have it cold, and that's the way to make it taste the best, is cold. Spices. You want to have basic spices like salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning. If you want, you could add a cumin or basil, depending on if you like Mexican food or Italian food. But the basic garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper are the 4 that you can get by with, and cinnamon, 5, cinnamon. Those are the top 5 that I would have and start my stockpile with, because you can do such a variety with just those things. Next one, beans. Canned and dried beans. You need canned beans for quick meals and dry beans for long-term storage. The dry beans will last forever. I got a whole bunch of free dried beans and I just put them in old plastic containers, sealed them shut. They're really good. They're still really good. It's been, I don't know, several years. Beans will last forever. If they're dried. Canned, they'll last 5 to 10 years. They're a quick and easy meal with some good protein to keep your energy up. Rice. Now, rice and beans is a complete meal, guys. So I always have rice and I always have beans, and then we can eat that if we need to and add the spices of the garlic powder, onion powder, salt. That will help make it taste better. Taco seasoning, if you want to add a little bit of taco seasoning if you happen to have it. But beans and rice, basic staples. Why? Because they store long-term. White rice, not brown rice. Do not get brown rice for long-term storage. It only lasts about 6 months. Always have rice and beans on hand if your family will eat it. Now, if your family doesn't eat that, then don't stock it. But if your family will eat it. Now, I would say I would stock, even if your family doesn't eat it, I would stock a little bit, just because if you really run out of food and you just don't have anything, beans and rice are super simple to prepare and they are easy to make up, keep on hand, that type of thing if you're in an emergency situation. Honey and or sugar. Now, honey will last long time, like years, and we're talking 10 years, 15 years. Honey will last forever. Sugar. That kind of goes along with honey, but it doesn't last as long as sugar. So, honey and sugar, you want to have some kind of sweetener. You can make rice cereal with the dry milk and a little bit of honey and sugar and cinnamon, and you can have a really nice rice cereal for breakfast. Canned meat. Canned meat, like your canned tuna, your canned roast beef, your canned chicken, all of those, your Spam, love Spam. I know I'm crazy. Canned ham. Your canned meats are going to come in really handy because you don't have to cook them, and you can just add them to your beans and rice. You can just add them to just rice alone. You can just eat them by themselves, but they're a really easy way to get protein. Canned fruit. Canned fruit is really good because you don't have to worry about storing it, but it will give you some energy and it'll give you something sweet, something yummy, tasty that's just not bland. If you're getting tired of eating just rice or just beans or whatever you have, canned fruit would really help perk things up. Coffee. Coffee and tea. Guys, you're going to need me a pick-me-up. I would add some coffee and tea to that because, I mean, if you don't drink tea, whatever you drink, pick one or the other or both. But I have both coffee and tea in my stockpile because that's what we drink. Now, to go along with drinks, I would get a water filter. Okay, so what I've got here is just food grade 5-gallon buckets right here. This is what the ceramic filter looks like right there. Can you see the little thing on the bottom? And then here's the spigot. So this is like super easy. You just drill a hole for the spigot and put it in there. Then you put the top on, and then you put this one on right there. Then you drill a hole in here, and the bottom goes through the bottom of the top bucket and the lid of the second bucket, and then you tighten it down on the lid of the second bucket right there. Put your water in, it drips through, and then you have your spigot down here, and you have fresh, clean water. It's really that simple, guys. I don't have mine set up. We need to get it set up, but that's all it is. You do want to put 3 ceramic filters, at least 2, but preferably 3 ceramic filters in here. And this will last, I think it said 10,000 gallons. So that's a really good deal. It's like $40. It is on the higher, more expensive side, but if you don't have water, you're going to be in trouble. You can take the water out of the ditch, put it through this filter, and you will be able to drink it. So this is what they use in Africa. Missionaries use it all the time overseas. In Africa, places like that where they don't have clean water, this is, I think, really it should be number 1 on the list, because if you don't have water, you're toast. So get yourself a water filter. You can get a Berkey or something expensive, but for $250 versus $40 that I spent on my water filter, it just wasn't worth the expense. Dried eggs. Dried eggs come in a can, a number 10 can. I love cooking with dried eggs. Believe it or not, it's one of my favorite cooking things. Now, they are a little bit more expensive, but they only amount to about $3 per dozen for a dozen eggs for the can. So it's about $3 a dozen in the can. The cans it depends on supply and demand, but right now they're about $27 for a can, and I can't remember, I think there's like 72 eggs in there or something. I don't know, my numbers may be a little off, but anyway, when I figured it out, it came to about $3 a dozen. So canned eggs, you can make muffins, you can make pancakes, all those kinds of things with canned eggs. Love it. Bread, love it. That's one of my staples. Flour. Now, flour isn't good for long-term storage, but you should always have extra flour on hand. It lasts about a year, but just rotate it out. But keep flour on hand so you can make your biscuits, your bread, your pancakes, that kind of thing. Oatmeal. Easy breakfast. Get the quick oats, not the steel cut, not the old-fashioned. Get the quick oats so that all you have to do is add boiling water. You've got instant oatmeal, add a little bit of cinnamon and sugar, and you're good to go. Canned dinners. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean your raviolis, your spaghetti, your stews, those kinds of things, your chilies. Easy dinners that are already prepared. Now, I know people are going to be, oh, that's nasty, that's gross. Listen, if you're in an emergency situation, you need easy food. And I don't care if it's processed. I don't care if it's got chemicals up the wazoo. This is not the time to be eating organic. This is not the time to be eating healthy. This is the time to be eating to sustain life. So get some of these things and have them on hand so that you can sustain life if you need to. Cooking oil. Cooking oil does not last forever, but it does last a year. Sometimes you can get 18 months out of it. Cooking oil, though, really makes it easier for making breads and muffins, that kind of thing. Cooking your meats, have a little bit of cooking oil. The fats are also good to give you some sustaining energy. Pasta. So pasta and spaghetti sauce to go with it, marinara sauce to go with it. Pasta will last quite a while. It actually lasts longer than flour, believe it or not. But get pasta and the sauce to go with it. Once again, quick, easy dinners. Those pasta and sauce, you can throw in some canned meat if you want. But pasta, spaghetti would be a great dinner all in itself. Yeast. You need yeast to make bread. Get you some yeast on hand. Yeast will store several years in the freezer, but only about a year in the cabinet. So put your yeast in the freezer. I buy it in the vacuum seal packs. Put it in the freezer, and I'm not joking. I had yeast in the freezer one time that got buried, and I don't know how I missed it, but somehow I missed it. And that sucker was 5 years old and still really good. So yeast will last a really long time in the freezer. Baking powder. Baking powder, guys, is good for biscuits, pancakes, waffles, that kind of thing. Will make life so much easier. My grandpa grew up on flour and water biscuits, so it can be done. Not a necessity, but it certainly makes a more pleasant breakfast or dinner if you can have a little bit of baking powder in with your flour and water to make it rise and taste a little bit better. So it's just not a hard lump. Canned butter. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't know about, but butter does come in a can. Now, this is one of those pleasant things. Again, you don't necessarily need the butter, but it would make things more flavorful and more tasty, and it lasts forever in the cans. So get you some canned butter so that things will be a little bit tastier. Pancake mix. Now, this is another thing that's not going to last forever, but it does make making breakfast easier if you can get the all-in-one. We love the Crusties. I did a video on this. I'll put it in the description, but the Crusties is my favorite. All you have to do is add water. If you need something easy and quick in an emergency situation, pancakes that you don't have to use all the different ingredients, but they're already there in the bag, would be such a nice treat, but not a lot of work, and you don't have to store a bunch of things. So pancake mix is a nice, convenient item. It's not going to last forever, though. I think it's like 9 months or a year, somewhere around there. I need to look at the package and see. Oh, you gotta love neighbors. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that. If you can, I'm sorry. Macaroni and cheese. Okay. Once again, a simple, easy, filling dinner. Guys, macaroni and cheese, super easy. You can use your dry milk and your butter to make it. I store up a lot. It's cheapest at Walmart. That's another quick and easy dinner that we always keep on hand in our emergency supply. Guys, we have a freebie for you, our Dining on a Dime cookbook in ebook form, Volume 1, Dining on a Dime Volume 1. If you use the coupon code DINING1, you will get it free on our website, livingonadime.com. Hit the shop. Make sure my foot's going numb. My feet are going numb. Be sure to enter the coupon code and hit apply. Hit apply. Then it will be $0 for you, and you can have our Dining on a Dime cookbook Volume 1 for free so that you can have it in an emergency. Make all these things. You can make biscuits, you can make taco seasoning, you can make tortillas. anything you want. Homemade brownies, homemade apple crisp, all those yummy good things, guys. If you can't get it in the store, you're going to have to make it at home, and this cookbook is the best one because it has everything together and you don't have to go searching a lot of places for recipes that you need. Please visit us at livingonadime.com, and we'll see you guys next time.